And this, of course, is riding off of the uh, Drake and Rick Ross beef. And if you guys don't know, Drake actually had a little run in this morning where the people had actually, some people had actually, was a trespassing this morning, where I think it was the second person that actually trespassed against Drake. See, police called to Drake's home after another trespasser tried to access his property. The trespassing incident following a shooting on Drake's property that seriously injured the security guard on Tuesday morning. A person tried to gain access to Drake's mansion in Toronto on Thursday afternoon, according to law enforcement. The second to do so this week. Police said the trespasser was confronted by security guards on the property and later taken to a hospital after the altercation. Police said that the investigating the incident. Representatives for Drake declined to comment. The incident comes after another trespasser was apprehended at the rapper's home on Wednesday. A source familiar with Drake's property told NBC at the time that the person was immediately confronted at the gate by security and turned over to police. Police said the incident Wednesday was not a criminal matter and that the details would not be released about the person in accordance with the Ontario Mental Health Act. These acts, excuse me, right here. These acts provide means for people to receive an emergency assessment without their consent through support of a physician or justice of the peace. Police said the trespassing incidents follow a shooting on Drake's property that seriously injured a security guard on Tuesday morning. The guard was shot from a vehicle, which then fled the scene. Police said in the news release, motives around the shooting and trespassers have not been made public. Drake has been embroiled in a feud with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar in recent weeks, which we already covered. Of course, this has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. This is more so to do with OVO XO gang, as we covered in the last podcast, where Amir Cash, the manager of The Weeknd, was also his security was shot just literally a week before Drake's security guard was shot as well. So we already know that this is more of a OVO XO gang retaliation going on right now. And who's to say what's going on as far as the trespassing is going on? What I do know is the fact that Drake is definitely going to have to move. He cannot stay in Toronto, Canada anymore. This is more of a thing where your son is at danger, your family is at danger. Dog, you just have to move at this point. You've already caused chaos in the city. We covered that as well with the I just need you to think. Find the jewels like cash, though. I just need you to think. We already covered that jewel as well, where 2016, the summer of 2016, was the highest homicide rate that Toronto had ever seen since the rapper Drake had ever been signed back in 2008. So, needless to say, Drake has already caused his chaos in the city. The people are already fed up. Now you're bringing, you know, shootings and trespassings to a neighborhood on Bridle Path where, it's a rich neighborhood. People do not want to see or even hear about there being shootings or trespassings going on at a mansion where you have damn near the tallest gates in the entire city. That's another thing. There were rules that were broken for Drake's mansion to even be built and for him to even have the type of security that he has. Certain laws of the city were even broken for him to even have these type of walls and the type of structure that he has built for him. And of course, he's a huge celebrity. He brings a lot of revenue to the city. At the same time, now he's also brought a lot of chaos to the city, unfortunately. So this is one of those times where he's definitely going to have to move from Toronto. Maybe he'll be able to move to Alberta, Canada, or Montreal, Canada, one of those type of cities. And he'll still be in Canada, of course, but he definitely won't be able to be in Toronto, Canada, for much longer with all these things going on around him right now. of course, like I said, him being the not necessarily the bigger star of the weekend, but him having the most, of course, notoriety of the past few weeks with the most beef as far as and altercations happening around him. Uh, Prayers definitely go out to Drake and his family because even though you're inside a rap beef, you definitely don't want to hear something as far as that going on. You never want to hear anything about someone going through the matter of uh, you don't want to hear about someone going through the matter of trauma and danger going on at their household. That's one thing that's very important to also think about. You know, Drake may be a huge celebrity. He may be one of the most hated celebrities right now. Of course, with all the memes and the jokes going at him. Of course, the pedophile accusations do not, help him at all. The rap beef, him losing that with Kendrick Lamar, does not help at all. His beef with the weekend does not help at all. It's like I said, it's one of those times where he's almost having the Diddy effect happening to him. If you don't notice, the Diddy effect is happening to Drake because the entire industry is actually going at Drake right now. So it's one of those things where he's been on top for 14 years. People just want to see him fall. So, like I said, it's just best for Drake to just quietly go away. Like he said in the last record, he needs to go on. He wanted to go on vacation. He didn't want to necessarily keep going toe to toe with Kendrick Lamar. And with this going on right now, it's in his best interest to actually just go away. If all this is going on around him, like I said, he has a son to raise. His mother, I'm sure, is very concerned. His father is very concerned right now. It's time for Drake to just, go away. And speaking of Drake, what recently happened 24 hours ago was that, if we think about what happened with Future's album, of course, my thing is going crazy. If we think about what happened with Future's album, also, so Future's album was supposed to come out, and it didn't. Of course, Future didn't drop the mixtape he teased, and fans are confused. Pluto might not have meant what he said. Future's work ethic is legendary. He dropped mixtapes like a madman in the mid 2010s, and he just put out a 2 collab album with Metro Boomin. The ones that started that Drake and Kendrick Lamar battle. Pluto has thrown shots at the Six God here and there, but it seemed like he was moving on from the battle to focus on new music. He got on Twitter and set Free Band's fan base on fire with 2 announcements on May 7th and May 10th, and the mixtape Pluto. Uh, Even those who practice Foxy Brown math knew, oh, it's wild to say that like that, with this new mixtape on May 10th. Well, it turns out 2 and 2 didn't make 4. The release date came and there was no new tape. Instead, Future dropped a new single with T Grizzly titled Swear to God. The single absolutely hits the Future and Grizzly swapping bars over an animated trap beat. The confusion over there being a new mixtape stemmed from the chorus of the Swear to God record, of course. So Future quoted a misleading lyric from his new single. Now, I just want to say this. Future also put out tweets that he was putting out a new album. Hold on. Not sure why it had an extra little E. So, this is what he put out here. May 10th, fuck your album. Shit ain't slapping like my mixtape. So, he had put out those tweets about a week ago, and fans had actually went into a frenzy when he put May 10th up there. So, today, of course, is May 10th, and there's no Future album. Now, I can tell you already why there is no Future album. There's no Future album because of the cease and desist that Drake has now put on it. The reason why there is a cease and desist is because we all know that Drake has partnerships with Universal Records. Now, let me actually show you something real quick. Universal Records. Now you see Universal Music Group, right? Notice you have Republic Records. Matter of fact, let me just back up real quick and show y'all just Epic Records itself, right? So you see, the parent organization is Sony Music Entertainment, and the founder is Columbia Records. Now, if I put in Universal Music Group again, you see all these labels that Universal owns? Now, we don't have to have rocket science here to tell you that with Universal Music Group owning all these record labels, it's very easy for a cease and desist to come from the man they call Drake. Because as we know, Drake got the cease and desist, if we don't remember, on French Montana. And this was actually confirmation of it.
Big Gamma, fuck they talking about, Larry? Yeah, nigga, let's go.
I'll give you one answer to that question, which doesn't pick a side or anything. The cease and desist letter was a real thing. I thought that was really funny in January. But other than that, I got no dog in this race, man.
But I don't know why. Why would I send my friend a cease and desist on a mixtape? That was mad.
You know, we all have different senses of humor. You know what I mean? I thought it was funny. I don't think anybody was really trying to be nefarious. I just thought it was a joke.
Well, them dudes sure felt like he was trying to be nefarious.
Huh. Listen, man, I love everybody involved, man.
That's true. That's true.
We know.
I love everybody involved, and I will say this though. It's interesting that the people who sit at the top of the skyscraper in the ivory towers just love this because they make so much money off of it. You know what I mean? It's like
I should
funny.
tell you right
like
there.
They watch us and let us fight with each other. And they go into the marketing meeting later on that day and ask how many streams their music got. It's just funny. You know what I mean? When you think about it from a very business-minded corporate perspective. That's my only point of view about it.
I agree with that.
That's peace.
I agree with that. 100%.
And salute.
That's the sad part.
That's the sad part. You know, we sit here as an audience really not even really kind of really taking into account who truly benefits if you follow the money at the end of the day. And these guys, just kind of stir it up and send legal letters and do all this kind of stuff. And, ultimately the people that benefit are the chairman and CEOs of these companies really who, kind of enjoy it. I mean,